Here's another discussion video after the pros and cons of collecting Tomica. These videos are for collectors who already own several or many Tomica Limited Vintage or new collectors who are considering to start your first TLV. I shall cover several topics here, all relating to TLV, so be sure to watch the entire video to get the most out of it. And of course, in any way, if you disagree or like to share your thoughts and also tips, feel free to do so in the comment section. Unlike its lower tier cousin Tomica or Tomica Premium, Tomica Limited Vintage comes in a variety of boxes. That's because TLV pride of being in the true 164 scale territory, and being in 164 is very subjective. I heard of stories they took the actual car to their factory to scan and scale it down to the precise 1:64. Other makers does that, such as Initial Model, although I have never seen any videos or clip about it. The most common is the standard large box, very easy for storage. Most of the casting in 164 are able to fit in, be it a wagon or a sedan or a hatchback, there's no problem. And in the open market, there's several generic clear cases for you to protect your box. And casting such as Pajero has a bigger box. I classified them as odd size because the car itself in nature is bigger than the rest. Or elongated boxes to house the truck, such as Nissan Atlas. Just like certain Tomica release, boxes like these are to resemblance a book or a DVD. And I believe for most collectors, especially the collectors in Singapore like me, who live in a public housing with a small space, we do not have enough storage space for all these. Hence usually I'll just chuck away the box and just keep the regular boxes within. I shall touch on the casting with the T-bags later on. Although it looks presentable, it doesn't have any concrete functionality, and it also drives up the cost price. Another boxes are the square box, very cumbersome, very chunky, take out a lot of space. It's fine if you have 1 or 2 or 5, but we will come to amount like 50 or more, it start to take up a lot of storage space. Of course, the collector card is included, who cares less? And boxes like this left me with no choice because there's no additional regular box. This is the only box to house the car. Extra large boxes such as this to house the fire truck, or even boxes to house the transporter is fine because that's the size of the casting. I know what I'm getting. And even their latest Dallara 64 boxes are huge, just to house a few small figures. Certain time they make it quite compact, such as this Tomica Rama to house the Civic together with the car leaf. And despite all the sizes, unlike Tomica or Premium, all these boxes are not shrink wrapped, and in the past many instances, departmental stores like Isetan try to display these boxes on the counter, and shoppers will just pry them open and damage the box. And it's interesting to note, in Japan, they just sell them on the shelf, and no one will go and open or pry open the box or to damage the boxes. Hence, they are still in very pristine condition. When come to choice of mini cars, TLV is always the leader and not a follower. They have consistently released model cars every month that wow collectors, including me. I'm their big fan, and all their casting are in stock, no modification. No collaboration between LBWK or Pandem, no trend in diecast collecting, no overflow of Datsun, no RWB, except for GTR, which they has a lot. Quality wise, it's really what you are paying for. Starting price for TLV is not cheap, it's very close to 3,000 yen, and the most expensive, such as the trailer, can go as much as close to 20,000 yen. However, upon closer inspection, all their casting are very clean. There's no QC imperfection, there's no paint chipping on the wheel sets or any other parts of the car, or even cheap plastic insert headlights. They are loosely fitted with lots of clarity in the headlights and details. But despite all the prices we are paying, we have to install a lot of user mounting parts, which is really unfair for us consumer. I think because the parts are delicate and fragile, the stress has been passed on to the consumer. They are quite smart about that. And most of their models, in fact more than half of them doesn't have side mirror, except for a few. I have attempted to install side mirror with a tutorial video as well. It was really a pain. The cars are not really cut out for installation of side mirrors or any other components as such. You have to glue it yourself. You need to have a sort of a hobbyist background or even the appropriate tools to do all this. Even if you successfully install all the side mirrors or such, you can't fit into the blister pack because the blister pack itself does not allocate any space for all these intricate components, so the stress are passed on to the consumer at such a high price point. On the plus side, the details are one of the best among the 164 category, such as this Mazda 787B. It's really beautiful to admire. The engine and the interior are all very intricate. It's really a joy to look at, and it's really money well spent. And also not to compromise their realism, most of the TRV parts are very loosely fitted. There's no hinges or joint to affect the realism factor. I was thinking of magnets, which may be too expensive, but then again, the prices is already quite high. The Hino fire engine is one of my very first TRV. It's super realistic with a lot of functioning parts. Yes, my first impression, TRV is really expensive. I've never been a rich man. Most of my expenses are gone to buying TRV. I don't get this for free. Just like majority of the collectors, I want to take care of all this TRV with my hard-earned money. One very popular aspect from TRV is also their ability to roll. And having the ability to roll is definitely a plus point. Till date, 100% of their casting has the ability to roll and roll very fast, to the delight of many diecast collectors who has made the transition to collect model cars. Another thing that you really need to take note is the casting are all very fragile and very brittle, just like all the other model cars brand. I have shown this in my previous videos. Over the years, the plastic become brittle and has become more prone to snap. So when you're holding it, please be very careful, especially parts like this. Another advisory is to take note of the wheel sets. Wheel sets, especially those that come from trucks, tend to be sticky over the years. So if you are buying retired casting for TRV, the two most important questions you need to ask your seller: does this TRV comes with paint rash? And is the wheel sticky? I have no remedy for sticky wheels. It has affected a few of my trucks in the collection. If you have any solution pertaining to this, please to share in the comment section below. The TRV Transporter is one of the most expensive casting in the series, but you totally get what you're paying for. Most of them are die-cast component, it's heavy. The success for the Transporter is proven for the past Hino series, and now they are trying to expand it in the Isuzu range. The joints are simple, it's very loose, and the Anteco trailer is highly functional and looks great with any of the die-cast across many other brands. In contrast, not every TRV casting is worthwhile to get, such as this Isuzu L for example. It has a lot of plastic component at such a high price. I got it solely because I want to have a 711 in my collection. Although overall it's decent and looks realistic, there's a lack of details such as the rear door, which can't be opened for sure, and intricate parts like the base are mostly in plastic, which are very fragile, and it's also very light. But when it comes to the safety loader, it's again money well spent. The safety loader is one of the most popular casting among collectors. I have given the title of the best supporting casting for the Nissan Atlas. Many die-cast components with functioning parts, and it looks great across all brand platforms such as Hot Wheels, Aoshima, and much more. And being a limited run, they are always instantly sold out. Hence TRV comes out with a lot of color variation for collectors who has missed them. At such premium prices, I have no doubt the paint quality for TRV are of high end, and unlike other mid-tier category model car makers, the paint are thin in such a way they can commensurate with the scale. But having a thin layer of paint comes with a price as well. I have just recently allocated a corner in my room to display all of these. I'm thinking of displaying nicely and tastefully, but sadly TRV will never be my choice because I'm located in the humid region. in Southeast Asia, Singapore, I have tried to display a couple of TLV, and this is what I get. Paint rashes which accumulate to paint bubbles. When I got all these retired TLV in Japan, I did check for any paint issues. Up close, the paint is good, but after a while, it starts to develop paint rash and bubbles, which is gone case. I have also uploaded a video on how to remove the paint rash, which I'll put a link up at the end of the video. It sort of works at our own discretion with the right tools. And someone said to me as well, if you don't display, then why do you collect? I like to correct that I did display them, but mainly they are not TLV, which I really wanted. Tea bags are a very good remedy to prevent paint rash. Someone shared this with me 2 years ago, and I adopted it. I got all these tea bags from Daiso. 100 pieces for $2 is very worth it. It can fit in most 1:64 scale car. Otherwise, you got to use a tissue. But tea bags are great because for some casting without any packaging, like your loose car, you can still see what is in it. A small pack of silica gel will also be very helpful to go along with your casting. So far, it's been so good. I have TLV from 2 years ago without any issues, and that's great. I'll continue to adopt this method, and I thought it's something that is nice to share with everyone as well. The price for the TLV are at the high end. I did say that in my earlier part. Most of the expenses are gone to buying these. And apart from the casting, they have things like Tomica as well. One of the negative factors for Tomica are the high prices. The prices are extremely high just for all these basic components. And TLV has been keep releasing facade like this for quite a few Tomica, mainly for collectors who have missed them. As a fan, I have most of them, but I recently feel that I should stop buying it because there's just too much duplicates. And when I compare the Tomica with a third party at a fraction of the price, it's much more worth it. You can see the realism is really there for your actual model cars. One of the factors I think is maybe the painting. They should add some more weathering to it. Of course, I'm very keen to weather them. I may take out 1 or 2 of my Tomica set to weather it. Apart from the facade, they also duplicate the minifigs. Although they are made of good quality, there's just too much duplication. It just recently, they are rolling out more minifigures to keep up with collectors. Overall, despite the prices and the negative factors, the TLV brand is still a very fantastic casting to collect. I believe the benefits of collecting this casting outweighs the negative factor. So how do you feel? Do you think the pros outweighs the cons, or vice versa? I'm really keen to know what you guys think, and feel free to share your comments below to share with everyone in the community. And do let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thanks everyone. Bye.